Chamber of Commerce Day at Williams-Brice Stadium. 68 degrees, wind not a factor. And let's go down to the third member of our broadcast team, Marty Snyder.
Well, Tim, it's the first game for South Carolina without their star running back, Marcus Lattimore. Many of you have seen the injury 2 weeks ago against Tennessee, officially a dislocated knee for Lattimore. It's the same injury Willis McGahee had in college. Now, doctors thought it would take 2 surgeries to fix everything. They got it all done in 1. And while he's not physically here, he is here in spirit. You see the name Harold Green coming down, the name Marcus Lattimore going up, recognizing him as South Carolina's all-time touchdown rushing leader. You know, talk to Coach Spurrier about it. He says Lattimore has a terrific spirit about things, and he said you would be hard-pressed to find a young man in this country that's been through all he's been through, Tim, and has a better attitude than Marcus Lattimore.
No question, he is a wonderful human being. And like so many that we've seen come through the SEC, likely has a future beyond Columbia. You look at the series history between these two now. They both joined the league in '92. Some of those meetings were as non-conference opponents. But lately, Arkansas has owned this series while the Gamecocks have been dominant against their rivals within the Eastern Division. They've struggled some, and Tyler Wilson has had a lot to do with that in recent years. The Gamecock defense has struggled against the Razorbacks. There you see Adam Yates preparing to kick it off, number 8 for South Carolina, senior. And back deep is Nate Holmes, number 22 for the Razorbacks. Holmes decides to take a knee, and the ball will come out to the 25-yard line. That's where Arkansas will take over, 1st and 10. Well, he's passed for more than 10,000 yards, 38 touchdowns as we take a look at our starting lineups presented by Chick-fil-A. What a remarkable career Tyler Wilson has had.
In very adverse circumstances, too, this year, Tim, with all the things going on with this Arkansas program. Remember, he lost 3 wide receivers to the NFL last year, and to be able to put the numbers up he has this year has been pretty impressive.
Dennis Johnson and Morgan Linton are the setbacks. On the rollout, Wilson's pass looks to be low and incomplete. As we take a look, it was intended for Mikel McKay. As we look at the rest of that Arkansas offense, Swanson is the leader at center, the junior from Kingswood, Texas. But this is a very young group up front. We touched on Hamilton at the top. Another guy to keep an eye on is Dennis Johnson. Very quick-footed running back, short, choppy steps. They'll use him a lot coming out of the backfield as a receiver. In fact, could be the second leading target, what with Chris Bragg, their top tight end and number 2 overall receiver, out of the lineup today with an injury. Ronnie Wingo is coming to the game. Out of the shotgun, Wilson with some pressure, and there's Hamilton. He has it at the 30 and should have the first down beyond the 35-yard line, an 11-yard gain.
You know, this is the bread and butter play. You're going to see a lot today. Kobe Hamilton coming across the field from right to left on your screen. And look at how South Carolina is looking him up right there. There was a perfect position to make the tackle, but it just didn't happen. And the reason for that is that Kobe Hamilton has great instinct coming across the football field. He feels those linebackers and safeties breaking on him and still finds a way to come down and make the play.
Well, you see that consecutive game streak, longest active, will remain intact after that completion. Johnson, as we mentioned, he can run with some power, low center of gravity, the senior from Texarkana, Arkansas. As we take a look at the South Carolina defense, Quarles is back. He missed a couple of games, got hurt in the LSU game. And Bowens, Jeffrey, and Wilson, he's the leading tackler, Shaq Wilson, for this defense. Hampton's a quality corner, but keep an eye on Swearinger moving from safety to cornerback for this game. A few changes made by defensive coordinator Lorenzo Ward with the back end of this South Carolina defense for today's game. There's the quick pitch. It goes to Nate Holmes. And he is rustled down at the 43-yard line. Keep an eye on that young man. They'll use him quite a bit today. Kyle Davis has been banged up. He was coming back from injury to play this season as well. Well documented what happened to this team at the outset of the year, and we've got an injured Razorback down at the 40. Excuse me, an injured Gamecock at the 40-yard line. We'll take a quick break and check. It looks to be Hampton, Victor Hampton, number 27, one of their leaders in the secondary. We'll be back. Trainers and athletic staff taking a look at the right hand of Victor Hampton, the sophomore from Darlington, South Carolina. They need as many of their veterans out there as possible in dealing with Kobe Hamilton, Steve, because he'll line up almost anywhere. No longer do they have the three-pronged pitch and catch attack that they had a season ago when they blew away South Carolina.
Exactly right. And they'll move him all over the place and put him in the slot, put him in motion. They'll create matchups to get him the football.
32, Jonathan Williams is in the backfield now, protecting for Wilson. Throws it to the right side of the field to Johnson, stopped in his tracks at the 45 by Jimmy Legree. Lost his starting job at the corner when Swearinger moved over to that position now with Hampton out of the game. The junior from Beaufort, South Carolina, back in there.
I think they're going to be short on this, Timmy. The ball was thrown behind the receiver by Tyler Wilson. Really a bad throw, if you ask me. He was wide open in the flat. The ball hits him on the money. It's going to be an easy first down. But as a result, the tackle is made. I think he's going to be just short of the first down.
Well, no, they got a good mark.
Okay.
Don't be surprised, too, if Arkansas goes on fourth down with their season where it is at this stage. Here it is.
Well, you see how open Johnson is in the flat out there. That ball's a little bit high and behind him, and as a result, it gives the South Carolina defender a chance to come up and make the tackle. Jimmy Legree. If that ball's out in front of Dennis Johnson, there's no doubt about it. He's going to pick up the first down, but no harm done. New set of downs right here for Tyler Wilson and company.
Victor Hampton has re-entered the game now off that injury, so good news for South Carolina. Dennis Johnson, the lone setback. First and 10. Clowney pops through, and you can see the reaction from Wilson as he dumps it out to Mikel McKay. 13 catches on the season with a touchdown. We've got a flag down. Hampton coming over to make the tackle. Did you see the reaction from Wilson with number 7 pop free? Let's listen for this call here.
Holding offense, number 71. The penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot. It remains first down.
Our referee is Ken Williamson.
Oh, sorry about that, Timmy. That was called on Jason Peacock, the left tackle right there, number 71. And you can see right there, you see the quickness. They tried to help Justin Peacock by lining the tight end up over to Davian Clowney, but the bottom line is he's seen everything. They look at it, it's pretty much a takedown, no doubt about it. Tyler Wilson saw number 7 coming clean and scared the heck out of him. I don't blame him.
He got some real happy feet when he saw number 7 pop through. After the penalty, the swing pass is out to Dennis Johnson. And he was knocked down at the 35-yard line. Swearinger, the first to get there. DJ went by Swearinger a year ago, and like so many of the modern-day athletes, decided to go with the heavy G with the pronunciation of his name this season. That always keeps us on our toes. Second and 21 coming up for Arkansas. Tyler Wilson, when we talked to him earlier in the week, had a lot of confidence about this matchup, and why wouldn't he, given what he's done against them? Johnson again. Swearinger makes the first contact. He is all over the place. Well, we touched on it, and in those last 3 meetings, fewer than 33 points and whopping 300-plus yards the last 2 years offensively in the air.
Yeah, it's been really impressive to see the way they played against South Carolina. And quite honestly, Tim, I think it's really gotten under the skin of Steve Spurrier and this coaching staff. They don't like getting beat by anybody at all, much less 3 years in a row by the same team. They're really fired up about this football game.
It cost them a trip to Atlanta. 3rd and 17. Wilson with plenty of time, and there's Hamilton. And his yards after catch are incredible. Run out of bounds all the way down inside the 25-yard line of South Carolina. We've got a flag down. 40-yard gain.
It truly is amazing, Tim, when you watch what Arkansas does week in and week out. It looks like Tyler Wilson's coming back. The penalty is going to be on Arkansas.
Well, with all that time, it could have been holding.
Illegal formation. Offense. 4 and 4 players lined up in the backfield. The penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat. 3rd down.
You see that call in the SEC more than any other conference in America.
Well, he said there are more than 4 people lined up in the backfield. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. That's exactly right.
Yep.
There's too many people. One of these receivers on the outside has got to step up on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's just a lineup mistake,
and
isn't it?
That's a big penalty, because as you saw, that was a 40-yard gain for Kobe Hamilton, and it continues to amaze me how this guy can get open like he does, and how Tyler Wilson can find him. He's the only guy that South Carolina wants to stop.
3rd down and 22. And by the way, just because you see that call more in this league doesn't mean it's not the proper call. I think it's missed by a lot of other crews. Wilson finally grabbed after some pressure, flushed from the pocket, and Chaz Sutton, number 90, makes the tackle, the junior from Savannah, Georgia.
Well, that ended up being a 50-plus yard penalty on that play, and unfortunately they lined up correctly that time in the right formation, but this time South Carolina was ready for it, and you saw the nice play closing on Tyler Wilson by Chaz Sutton to make the tackle.
Dylan Breeding is coming to the game to punt the ball away. Senior from Hoover, Alabama, and Ace Sanders, who is something special. 21 punts returned for an average of 16 per return for Ace. He'll very rarely call a fair catch, and this time he stopped immediately after making the grab at the 20-yard line. 41-yard boot, no return. Connor Shaw will come out for the head ball coach and try to muster some offense for the Gamecocks when we come back on this homecoming Saturday. You have to love the unique aspects of all SEC home sides. You see our score, 0-0, just underway first quarter. And South Carolina has the ball. Time now for our starting lineups presented by Chick-fil-A. Connor Shaw, who was one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country early on in the season, tailed off just a bit and, in fact, was benched, but has come back and off that Tennessee game 2 weeks ago really earned Steve Spurrier's respect all over again. Junior from Flowery Branch, Georgia.
Well, I think he earned everybody's respect in that Tennessee game a couple weeks ago. SEC Offensive Player of the Week. 22 of 32 for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also ran for a touchdown. So hoping to capitalize and build on that today.
Yeah, second leading rusher for this team. Off the play fake in the zone read approach, and they pump it off. And it's incomplete. Intended for Ellington as you look at the rest of the South Carolina offense. Up front, T.J. Johnson, the leader, senior from Anor, South Carolina. And at the skill positions, Sanders can go get them. But Ellington and Miles, keep an eye on Kenny Miles, the senior, taking over for Lattimore. This is a young man that can get it done, too. 6 receptions and does have 1 rushing touchdown on the season. Is caught by Justice Cunningham, the tight end, and he moves ahead to the 30-yard line, 3 yards shy of a first down. As you look at that defense, Chris Smith coming off a great performance, leading tackler against Tulsa in the non-conference win last week. Turner and Peters, these are freshmen, true freshmen, being forced into duty because of injuries to Highsmith, Wright, and Williams. And that 5-man back end with another freshman, Will Hines from Waco, Texas, at the corner. They have been banged up at that position. Kenny Miles will take it off the left side. He's got the first down and then some. Ahead to the 38-yard line. This is a young fellow that wanted to come back for his senior year. He's already gotten his degree. Coach Spurrier really happy to have him.
I literally asked Coach Spurrier to come back, and if he would allow him to come back for his 5th year. And I'll tell you, Steve Spurrier makes a lot of good decisions. That was a great one, because who would have foreseen what was going to happen? But knowing he's got Kenny Miles back there in the backfield, I think he feels very good about his backup for Marcus Lattimore.
There are 9 grad students on this South Carolina team. Out of the shotgun. It's Miles again, this time well read by Arkansas defensively. You saw Chris Smith come up very quickly. Loss of 3 on the play.
And we talked about, and we will talk about more in depth, the Marcus Lattimore loss. But how does it affect this ball club? We asked Connor Shaw. Basically, he said, well, all of us have to step up. Me as the quarterback, but I think every other player, not only just the running backs, but they've got some great tight ends on this football team. Justice Cunningham, Rory Busta Anderson. I expect to see them involved in the passing. They've got to make up for that loss a lot of different ways.
A lot of school records by this South Carolina team in the last few years. Running out, and Shaw dumping it for his tight end, Rory Busta Anderson. Had a touchdown catch a week ago. He had to get rid of that one a little sooner than he wanted. And that is Busta, not Buster.
Yeah, Busta. Yeah, and I'll tell you, that Busta, he's got 20 catches in his career at South Carolina. How many touchdowns do you think out of those 20 catches? 8 touchdowns. He's got 5 touchdowns on 12 catches this year. He knows how to find the end zone.
Third down and 13 for South Carolina. And they go empty in the backfield. A lot of twin tight end alignments for Steve Spurrier with this team. There's a floater, and that was a beautiful catch by Cunningham. Put where only he could catch it. What an athletic maneuver by this tight end. A 26-yard gain.
Well, this is a phenomenal catch. Not a great throw by Connor Shaw, but you can say he gave Justice Cunningham a chance to make a play on this ball. Incredible adjustment. And the safeties for Arkansas split, left the middle of the field wide open. A great job of seeing that and having the right route called. And then a super catch by Justice Cunningham.
Already a couple of catches for 34 yards for the big tight end. A pump fake. Shaw likes to throw on the rollout. That pass is airmailed. A little too high for Bruce Ellington.
Well, Connor Shaw needs to be careful here. This is the kind of hit you do not ever want to see your quarterback take. He rolls to his left, and you're going to see Colton Miles next. Boom. That was actually Otha Peters that made the hit on Connor Shaw. But when you've got a defensive player running full speed at your quarterback who's also on the move, that is a very exposed position for a quarterback. You got to be careful. That's a knockout shot if you're not careful.
Kenny Miles and Craig Gilchrist are now in the backfield. Plenty of time for Shaw. That pass is caught by Miles coming out of the backfield. First down at the 25-yard line of Arkansas. They're really picking on these young linebackers, aren't they?
Well, they had very good coverage up the field for Arkansas. Nowhere for Connor Shaw to go. But look at the protection. He had all kinds of time. And then all of a sudden, right out here in the flat, you see Kenny Miles was wide open. He just slipped out late. Made the nice catch, picked up the first down.
There's a lot to ask. We talked to Paul Haynes, the defensive coordinator from Arkansas. These are very coachable young men. A.J. Turner and Otha Peters. For Peters, the middle linebacker, it's his first ever start. Turner started 3 games, but this is trial and error by fire for them as Demir Bird takes it on the end around, set up at the slot. And that was well read by Ross Rasner, the senior from Waco, Texas, leading tackler for the Razorbacks with the stop.
Well, Ross Rasner, right here, you see him. He's going to come up and support Verrill. He's a safety full-time, but when they go to their nickel package, he comes and plays that nickel linebacker. Does a great job stringing out the play right there, keeping his hands free, and then is able to break up on the ball carrier, Kenny Miles, and make the tackle for a big loss. Good play for the Arkansas defense.
Mike Davis, number 28, is coming to the game for Kenny Miles. Just behind Connor Shaw. 2nd and 15. Over the middle, once again, the tight end touchdown. That's Jerrell Adams with the catch, number 89, the freshman from Pinewood, South Carolina.
Well, Jerrell Adams is the 3rd tight end, and all of these tight ends are very impressive when you watch. And I did get the impression, talking to Steve Spurrier yesterday, that he had a little twinkle in his eye talking about Jerrell Adams, thinking this kid is going to be something special. He's 6'6", 224 pounds. Obviously a very good athlete to get open down the middle of the field.
Adam Yates is in for the extra point. So Jerrell Adams on the receiving end. That's just his 4th reception of the season, his 1st touchdown. They are working taking over these freshman linebackers, using the tight ends. 3 big catches by the tight ends, 1 for a TD. Connor Shaw is pumped, and the Gamecocks have the early advantage on homecoming Saturday.
Well, let's look at this. I want you to watch the safety. This is the second time they've had a big play. You got Rohan Gaines and Eric Bennett to get a little bit of width. Well, right here is Gerald Adams. He's going to run right down the middle of the field. But watch linebacker. You're going to watch linebacker A.J. Turner running down the middle. He should be running down the middle of the field. Right here, should be running down the middle of the field with Gerald Adams. He didn't do it. Did not carry him up the field. As a result, it's an easy throwing catch touchdown for South Carolina. That's the youth and experience of the linebackers for Arkansas, coupled with the fact that South Carolina's got the right kind of plays called taking advantage of that 2 deep coverage. They're calling them at the right time and making Arkansas pay.
When you have that many playmakers at tight end, why not line up in a twin tight end look as often as Spurrier does? Yates will kick it off. Nate Holmes is back deep. Sort of squib it, taken by a cutback for the Razorbacks, and a nice move to the outside as Ronnie Wingo gets it out. And don't forget, the latest news, analysis, and predictions comes your way from Tony Barnard, Bruce Feldman, and other CBS Sports experts. Watch College Football 360 live weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern or on demand at cbssports.com/collegefootball360. Well, Wingo gives the Hogs some quality field position at the 42-yard line off that squib kick. He returned it 26 yards. Williams and Johnson are in the backfield for Wilson. Hamilton in motion. Swings it out for Dennis Johnson. And DJ is stopped at the 44. Let's go back to the studio for a John Hancock update.
All right, Tim, thanks. Wisconsin has a new starting quarterback, Kurt Phillips. He finds Sam Arnson. Badgers up 14-0 at Indiana. With a win, they'd clinch the leaders division berth in the Big Ten championship game. Back to you.
All right, Adam, thank you. As you look at the story with the Big Ten leaders, with Penn State and Ohio State ineligible, as well documented through the course of the year. Again, pressure, Clowney, as Wilson was just rolling right into the welcoming arms of number 7.
Well, there are not many people in the college football world. Watch right here. That's Jadeveon Clowney, top of your screen. He's got the ability to make Tyler Wilson read that play, and he read it as watch right. He's going to crash down, and Tyler Wilson's read is if he crashes down, I keep the football. But Jadeveon Clowney is a good enough athlete to take away both. I would not run the read option at Jadeveon Clowney again today.
3rd and 13 for Wilson. On the check down, he goes underneath to his tight end, Austin Tate, number 87. Chris Gregg, as we mentioned, the second leading receiver on this team, out. And that's a big concern for them offensively because he's been a real go-to guy. And Wilson and the Razorbacks check out with that good field position. Got nothing done with it thanks to Jadeveon Clowney. Ace Sanders will be back around the 10-yard line of the Gamecocks as Dylan Breeding prepares to punt it away. Beautiful punt. Sanders from his 3. He averages 16 per return. Nifty feet, huh? I mean, you could argue that ball would have gone into the end zone, but he will always take a shot. And he gets it out to the 15-yard line. That's a 52-yard boot and a 12-yard return. He just won't say fair catch.
I tell you, the rule is if the ball's inside the 10, you're supposed to let it go into the end zone. He got that at the 3-yard line. I was about to say, huge mistake.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 23. The penalty will be half a distance to the goal from the end of the kick First down.
Well, that will move them back even further. So some of that return is negated on the holding penalty against the receiving team. We'll be right back. South Carolina leads it 7-0. Tim Brando, Steve Berline, and Marty Snyder with you. Help the victims of disasters like Superstorm Sandy. Texting Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund, CBS Cares. Let's take a look at that last drive by South Carolina. Not once did a wide receiver catch one.
Well, we're starting to see a theme here for South Carolina. They're taking advantage of the middle of the field against the young linebackers right there. That was A.J. Turner. And then the pass in the flat to Kenny Miles for a big play. And then the dagger was again down the middle of the field to a big tight end, Gerald Adams, for the touchdown. Again, taking advantage of A.J. Turner and Otha Peters. Their inexperience as true freshmen. Look at that pass distribution. Tight ends very heavy today, kind of as we suspected coming into this ball game, and for good reason, because of the inexperience of those two linebackers inside, and also the willingness of Arkansas to play that 2 deep coverage.
Yeah. Connor Shaw will be in the shotgun in his end zone with Kenny Miles flanking him in the backfield. Miles dancing and prancing and finding his way beyond the 5 to the 7-yard line. He waited for a little move, did not get impatient with it, and managed about 4 or 5 yards. Jarrett Late, 39, the junior from Jinx, Oklahoma, making the stop. Linebacker for the Razorbacks.
Well, it's a good job by South Carolina getting the ball out of their own end zone. I was under the impression it was going to be half the distance on that penalty on the punt return, but they actually moved it back a full 10 yards. So South Carolina more of a challenge to get it out of there, but they did it on that first play.
2nd and 5. Wide receiver screen to Ellington. Ross Rasner ushers him out of bounds. 8-yard pickup.
Well, between Bruce Ellington and Ace Sanders and Demir Bird, there's 4 or 5 receivers that South Carolina is going to rotate in. And I think a lot of times, Tim, it's much more difficult to defend a team who's willing to spread the ball around like Connor Shaw does than focusing on one individual receiver like Kobe Hamilton. They have to defend the whole field, know where everybody is at all times, and play it honestly as a defense.
They go with the I formation with Quay Gilchrist, the fullback, back in the game. Hole there. Miles pops free ahead to the 23-yard line. Let's get another update from Adam Zucker in New York. Interesting game when you consider that Miami is still in the hunt in the Coastal Division of the ACC. Thanks, Adam. Kenny Miles again dotting the I on 2nd and short for South Carolina. Nice time for a play fake. Shaw airing it for Ellington. Incomplete. Ball hung up just a little and gave the Razorbacks Rohan Gaines an opportunity to catch up and knock it away.
Well, Rohan Gaines, a redshirt freshman, did a great job covering some ground. And the key right there, you see how he turned his head back at the last minute. If he would have kept running through Bruce Ellington, if there was any contact at all, there would have been a pass interference, because you have to turn back and make a play on the ball. That was a good, sharp, experienced play by a player with relatively little experience. So I'm very impressed with how he got that head around.
3rd down and 3. Play clock winding down. They get it off just in time to Kenny Miles on the pitch, and this one was doomed from the start as the play clock was winding down, and Arkansas read it beautifully as they were running into the boundary. Byron Jones, 54, the junior from Junction City, Arkansas, with a stop.
Yeah, Byron Jones and Trey Flowers, number 86, did a great job stringing this play out and not creating any kind of a seam for Kenny Miles to cut back in. They controlled the line of scrimmage, got penetration, and as a result, a very good defensive play.
Tyler Hull will punt it away, averaging 39 yards per boot, and Nate Holmes, number 22, is back deep for Arkansas. Yeah, the special teams for South Carolina have at times been an adventure, and they've got a late substitution here. The play clock winding down on them. Just didn't get it off. High punt. Holmes called for a fair catch at the 31-yard line. 51-yard boot. Will Alabama go undefeated this season? That's our Facebook question. You can answer, well, only 2 ways, right? To vote, log on to facebook.com/SEC on CBS.
There's one of our the two-man booth up here between you and I, Tim, feels pretty strongly that first loss might be tonight.
Yeah, I think this afternoon on CBS. That's right, immediately after our game. I'm not alone, though. I've always felt that the SEC would have trouble having an undefeated team as its champion. Here's Dennis Johnson in the backfield on the play fake. Wilson looks to throw. Incomplete. He was going to Johnson, and we've got a marker down. Could have a roughing the passer penalty against Jadeveon Clowney here.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 7. Penalty is 15 yards. The previous spot, automatic first down.
Well, we'll see exactly what he's guilty of here. Tyler Wilson doing a good job getting rid of the ball. That was fairly incidental. Was there contact? Yes. Did Tyler Wilson go down? Yes. But you could see Jadeveon Clowney was looking back at the ball. I don't even think he knew Tyler Wilson was there.
You got to give Tyler some credit, though, huh?
You got to give him some credit. I think the referee probably just saw the end result, which was a result of the contact.
Dennis Johnson carries off the left side. He's away for 3 yards. Second down and 7 coming up.
You know, one thing that Lorenzo Ward, defensive coordinator for South Carolina, told us, and he told us a lot of good stuff, but he really felt like the weak tackle position, there you see Lorenzo Ward, the weak tackle position, Jason Peacock and Bray Cook are guys that they were going to try and create matchup with Jadeveon Clowney on. They felt that they were really going to have their hands full, more so than normal, by trying to block Jadeveon Clowney.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter, and we'll return to Williams-Brice Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the Home Depot SEC on CBS. Scores, we open the second quarter 7-0 South Carolina here in Columbia. Tim Brando, Steve Berline. Lorenzo Ward, the defensive coordinator, told us they were not at all satisfied with their play 2 weeks ago against Tennessee. It's clear in this open date week that they had last week, they've shaped things up with their defense.
Well, not only was Lorenzo Ward not happy with the performance against Tennessee a couple weeks ago, he was not happy with what has happened against Arkansas specifically the last 3 years. He said their Arkansas quarterbacks have been carving his team up like a turkey, and he's sick of that. He didn't want it to happen anymore. He was going to change, become much more aggressive. The bye week came at the right time. He's moving his players around, giving some looks that he is sure that Arkansas has not seen before. A lot of those movement changes include Jadeveon Clowney and safety DJ Swearinger. Lorenzo Ward said they need to know where those two guys are all day, or they're going to be free all day.
Ronnie Wingo is coming to the game, and there's the quick pass to Mikel McKay. And McKay has it inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Well, Arkansas looking to move into South Carolina territory for the very first time, and has done so with the first down.
But Tim, I think it's very important for Tyler Wilson and this Arkansas offense to get something productive out of this drive, to make a statement to South Carolina that this is going to be a competitive ball game. It's only 7-0 right now, but Arkansas has not done much yet with the football.
Wilson is 6 for his last 6. This time it's Jonathan Williams, number 32, and he burrows inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Boy, how active has Jadeveon Clowney been?
Well, we're going to call that name a lot today, but you're going to see here initially that coming inside, that hard inside move to draw the holding penalty, and then right here playing both the run and the keep by the quarterback on the option, and then maybe not so good there with a little shoulder into Tyler Wilson for the roughing the passer penalty, but he's going to make his presence back.
On 2nd and 4, that pass is caught by McKay, and he's inside the 15-yard line. Swearinger trips him up. Gamecocks gambled that time, and the Razorbacks made them pay.
Well, the true freshman Mikel McKay runs a nice quick out right here. Catches his 14th ball of season, and a bad angle taken on the tackle.
Legree.
Jimmy Legree that offered up the big play down the sideline.
And Legree checks out of the game.
Well, that's what got him on the bench in the first place, I think. He was not performing to the right level.
Look at the Verizon Red Zone. Arkansas scored a touchdown on 53% of their trips into the red zone. That ranks 9th in the SEC. Here's Johnson on the stretch play. And he's got it just inside the 10-yard line. Bryson Williams, number 12, makes the stop. It's a 5-yard gain.
Well, this Dennis Johnson kid is a pretty impressive guy when you look at him. Last week he ran for 109 yards versus Tulsa, coming off 161 yards against Ole Miss 2 weeks ago. He's the all-purpose yardage leader in the SEC, active right now with over 5,000 yards. He knows what to do with the football, especially down by the end zone.
Williams and Johnson in the backfield. And that's Johnson again ahead to the 5-yard line, about a yard shy, maybe a little more, of the first down. It'll be third down. Byron Gerardo, the freshman, number 70, making the stop.
You know, Timmy, one of the things that Lorenzo Ward kept harping on us about, the defensive coordinator for South Carolina, was he felt that despite the fact that the Arkansas offensive line has not given up many sacks this year, he felt that was a weakness of their offense, and that he might be able to exploit that in situations like this.
Well, one thing the Razorbacks have done in this series, they've run downhill. Johnson again and Morgan Linton in the backfield. And Dennis Johnson with some second effort, a little closer to the fourth, fumble the football. It's loose. And it appears that, Tyler Wilson was saying it should have been blown dead, but the indication is it's South Carolina football.
Well, my initial reaction is that Tyler Wilson might be right, but we're going to look at it a little closer. I don't know if his knee was down before the ball pops out.
No, it was not. Bowens with the recovery. You could see Johnson was on top of the defender.
It's going to be reviewed. The ground cannot cause a fumble. Remember that, Tim. Let's see what happened. He's got both hands on the ball. Did it pop out before the ball hit the ground? That's the question I want to have answered.
The Holloman, 21. Watch him now. He's making the stop here, 21. But if he's on the ground, Johnson's not. I think it's a fumble.
And you know what? I think you're right. That right hand came off the ball, and the ball never actually hits the ground until he lets it go.
Right.
See that right there? The left hand and the right hand together, if they would have pinned the ball on the ground, it would not have been a fumble. But I think that ball was definitely out.
Well, a big break for the Gamecocks as Arkansas was in scoring ground. And Mark Davis takes it up the right side, ahead for about 3. Second down and 7 coming up.
And those are killer turnovers. You finally got something going positive offensively. You're in the deep into the red zone, trying to convert a third and short, and you come out of it with nothing.
He may have thought that he was on the ground. He may have, but he was not. Holloman was underneath it. Second down and 6. Davis, the lone setback, is stopped in his tracks right at the line of scrimmage by the Arkansas defense. Turner with the stop. Well, Monday, 2 broke girls find the sweetest thing possible in a candy store on a new episode. Monday, only CBS. Third down and 7 here for South Carolina. Davis, the lone setback. They're in the shotgun. Pressure off the left side, and Shaw is sacked back at the 3-yard line. That was A.J. Turner blitzing from the linebacker spot, and the freshman got to him.
Yeah, A.J. Turner just going to shoot the gap right through the guard-centered gap right there up the middle. Connor Shaw felt him, was able to slip away initially, but not able to break away totally. And what the support troops got there for Arkansas, it was not good news for Connor Shaw and company. He steps up. He's got a nice window there, but A.J. Turner did a great job hanging on that jersey.
Razorbacks defense does the job, and even with the turnover by Johnson, Arkansas should have quality field position, and they will if the ball rolls dead at midfield. 47-yard boot by Tyler Hull. The Razorbacks will have it right there when we come back. Let's see what the veteran Tyler Wilson has in store for us when we come back. To say it was a turbulent spring in Fayetteville would be an understatement, but that man, John L. Smith, the 19th head coach that South Carolina has faced. Arkansas, of course, now with him as their head coach, and Marty Snyder has more.
Well, Tim, he certainly had his hands full this year, and last year ended with such hope for Arkansas, and this year they were expected to be a top 10 team, but it spiraled out of control quickly. Actually, before the season began, when Bobby Petrino resigned due to some personal indiscretions, and then you see all the losses that just keep piling up for Arkansas. We asked John L. Smith, what do you play for at this point? He said, number one, pride. We cannot end the season like this, but number two, we feel like we can be a bowl team. We have to win 2 of these final 3 games, and Tim, these are against some tough teams: South Carolina, Mississippi State, and then LSU to close out the season. But the Arkansas Razorbacks think they can win at least 2 of those.
Let's not forget, Marty, that he helped get Bobby Petrino's career going. Bobby worked for him back in the day. He's been a head coach at Idaho, Utah State, Louisville, Michigan State, and of course Bobby took over for him when he left the Louisville Cardinals for that Michigan State job. Dennis Johnson is the lone setback as Arkansas sets up again in great field position. Wilson with plenty of time, and that pass is caught. The favorite target, Hamilton's got it at the 22-yard line.
Well, I continue to be amazed by how this tandem can hit play. You see right there in the slot, number 11, Kobe Hamilton, just going straight to the middle of the field. But the play action is what held the linebackers and opened up the middle of the field for Tyler Wilson to have a clear lane to make that throw, and Kobe Hamilton to make the big catch. This is a guy that against Rutgers, 10 catches, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Nate Holmes in the backfield. He takes the quick pitch towards the boundary and is rustled down in a hurry by Aldrich Fordham. Let's go back to New York. Adam Zucker with second down and 13 yards to go now for the Razorbacks. And they're going to take a timeout. Did not like the South Carolina defense against the formation they had. Paul Petrino, the offensive coordinator, thinking better of it, decides to talk about it. Razorbacks trying to rebound after that turnover inside the 5. Well, that should be fun. Really looking forward to that. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson will have the call for you immediately after our game.
That Johnny Manziel kid, he's something special. Johnny football.
This guy's played some too, hasn't he? Tyler Wilson, 8 straight completions. Let's see if he can keep his drive going. Underneath again. Number 15 or 19, Javante Herndon on the receiving end of that pass. Junior from Jacksonville, Florida. That's his 11th reception of the year. Does have 3 touchdown catches, and we've got an injured Gamecock. That's Akeem Auguste, number 3. Senior from Hollywood, Florida, and he'll hop off the field under his own power.
That was a pretty good collision at the end of that play. Akeem Auguste taking on Javante Herndon. Herndon had a full head of steam, knew exactly where to go, north and south, get up the field. You see right there, Akeem Auguste came in and put his head on the hip of Herndon.
Shaking out the cobwebs there.
Yes.
At the 6-yard line. First and goal for the Razorbacks. Wilson's last 3 completions have all been 20-plus yard completions. Johnson and Williams are in the backfield. On the bootleg, looking for Williams in the corner. Just ran out of terrain, and it's incomplete. Pretty good coverage by South Carolina's Bryson Williams, number 12.
Yeah, very good coverage and a smart throwaway by Tyler Wilson. You got first down, first and goal on the 6-yard line. The one thing you don't want to do is make a bad decision, throw an interception, or take a sack. Just get rid of it. Got second and goal at the 6. You're still in good position.
Hey, since the second quarter started, John L. Smith's team has turned this homecoming crowd into a berries and cream congregation.
This is a team that started 1-4 in the season. They won 3 of their last 4, playing some better football this year.
Second and goal. Wilson. He had his running back, Johnson, running a little shallow cross. Incomplete.
Well, if there is a knock on Tyler Wilson. I do think that he does get a little bit careless with his accuracy. He's got these short throws to the running backs out of the backfield. When you watch the film, he misses some of these guys behind him every once in a while, and it's been pretty consistent. Up the field, I don't think there's any question about his strength or his accuracy.
Trip set to the top of your screen with Keon Hatcher up there. Dennis Johnson is the lone setback.
Kobe Hamilton right there.
Wilson right over the middle, and it's caught by Hatcher. Touchdown, Arkansas.
And I'll tell you what, Tyler Wilson took a shot from Jadeveon Clowney as he let go of that football. This is what makes this kid special, though. Watch him stand in there, totally exposed, make the throw, and take the shot from Jadeveon Clowney. Good throw right there for the big touchdown, Arkansas.
No way Bowens is going to stop that, huh?
Now, Bowens, he was in good position again, but he just a little bit too late, a split second too late to make that break on the ball.
Zach Hocker with the extra point. Youngster from Russellville, Arkansas, knocks the game at 7. Razorbacks turn it over once, get it back, and make good on it. We're tied at 7. You see the 50-yard scoring drive. Hatcher with his first reception. It's for a touchdown. Youngster from Oklahoma. And let's take a look, Steve Berline, at our Home Depot tools for success.
Well, you remember the show, the A-Team, way back when. This is the Arkansas version of the H-Team. You got Kobe Hamilton with the first big play of this drive. Over the middle, nice catch right there. And then on the outside, you got Herndon with the big peg. He tucks and runs, gets it up there in the red zone, and then finished off the nice touchdown catch by Hatcher. Hamilton, Herndon, and Hatcher coming through for the Razorbacks. End result, touchdown, Arkansas.
Not bad for the freshman stepping in. Remember, Brandon Mitchell is out. He's serving a 4-game suspension and won't be back until the LSU game. That's Thanksgiving weekend, and you'll see that the Friday after Thanksgiving on CBS. But that youngster, you know, has to feel good. Well, the H-Team, huh? I pity the fool that had to cover him.
Yes, yeah. Exactly right.
Ellington is back deep.
Pity the fool.
Yeah. Zach Hocker will kick it off. That one will go all the way into the cheap seats. Let's take a look again at the courage of Tyler Wilson with a defender and a good one bearing down on him.
Well, this is a guy that will wreak havoc for many more years to come. Look at that shot right in the chest of Tyler Wilson. He stands in there and makes the throw accurately for the big touchdown. Again, look at the speed of Jadeveon Clowney coming up there, and that's as solid as it gets when you're talking about a big man with a lot of speed and you're totally exposed as a quarterback. But that's one thing that
First down.
Lorenzo Ward said. He said Tyler Wilson will steer pressure right in the face and deliver the ball.
Well, we had an offsides penalty on the kick, so because of that, the ball will be brought out to the 30-yard line rather than the 25 as this series gets underway for South Carolina. You know, we talked with Tyler, and we asked him about, you know, coming back and the disappointment of losing the games and all the issues this season, and he said, well, every game I play is on my resume tape for my future. And I'm an Arkansas kid. It matters to me what my legacy and what my teammates' legacies will be in my senior class.
And he took it a step further. He said every throw that he makes is on his resume. He takes it very personal, a lot of pride in it.
He gets it. He really does. Shaw under duress, and he dumps it out of bounds outside the tackle box as he was pressured by Austin Flynn. And it'll be 2nd and 10 coming up.
Well, a lot of times being a good, productive quarterback does not involve making a great throw. It means making a smart throw. Right there, Tyler Wilson feeling pressure, having the presence to say it's not going to happen on this play. Going to throw the football away.
Steve said to us, got to get the ball out.
That's exactly right.
Get her out of there.
And I meant Connor Shaw, not Tyler Wilson. Arkansas has the ball. Carolina has the ball.
Kenny Miles pops outside, and he's ahead to the 35-yard line. Stopped by Avon McKinney, number 13. These are corners, many of them that are very young. Devin Mitchell's only a sophomore. He's one of their better ones, number 8. And McKinney is another youngster, a freshman out of Forest City, Arkansas. 3rd down and 4 coming up. We already mentioned Will Hines pressing into a starting role as well at the other cornerback spot. This is a very big 3rd down for South Carolina. Their defense has been on the field a long time. And there's a fade for Ellington, and he's got it set free. And a nice tackle by McKinney to save the touchdown inside the 30-yard line. We've got a flag down. Could have a personal foul to tack on to it here.
It looks like roughing the passer again. This time the other way, though. Connor Shaw did a great job identifying the blitz and making the big play on the outside.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 57. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Come in to run. 1st down.
But Jared Green is the one guilty of the personal foul, coming around, looping. You know what? Again, not malicious, but he had a chance to pull up and avoid the hit. He finished it. That's going to add 15 yards onto the play, or half the distance to the goal line. What a great throw. Identification from Connor Shaw. He saw full all-out blitz, knew he was protected, had the great matchup outside Ellington, made the nice throw. It's a big game.
Marked the ball at the 14-yard line. Kenny Miles is the lone setback. Miles will take it. Finds his way to the 11-yard line. Pick up a 3. Byron Jones the stop. Gamecocks can get a 1st down at the 4-yard line of Arkansas. 6:40 and counting remaining in the opening half.
Well, it's a pretty good team in the red zone. South Carolina, 69% of the time they come away with touchdowns. Anything over 60% is pretty acceptable.
Now, before that 36-yard gain, South Carolina had been stuck. They'd only gained 15 yards after the opening drive. So that was a huge pass play to Ellington. Out of the shotgun. Not a designed run, but a good opportunity for him to tuck it and run, and he gets it down to about the 10. Gain of just a yard. It closed quickly, that hole, thanks to Otha Peters.
Yeah, I think Connor Shaw thought there was more to it there than what he actually got out of it. He picked up about 3 or 4 yards, but I think he thought there was more. He tucks it and goes. He's not afraid to do it, but be careful, Connor Shaw. You go head first in there against 3 defenders. The numbers are not in your favor.
Again, they can get a 1st down at the 4-yard line. Ellington is down at the bottom of your screen. Sean, this looked to be a design run, didn't it? He's going to take it in. Touchdown. Oh, that was well designed, really.
You know what? I did not think they had a chance with that play because it was good pressure initially at the field. But Connor Shaw shows his athletic ability. A nice block by Kenny Miles. Pops Connor Shaw to the outside. He gets inside that pylon for a touchdown. Good athletic play by the quarterback.
That's Steve's son, Steve Spurrier Jr. there chatting with Connor Shaw. Adam Yates will come in for the extra point. Out of the hold is Seth Strickland. And the kick is good. 2 huge 3rd down conversions on this drive. The Ellington catch on 3rd and 4. And then the Shaw run. He found the daylight. So some surprises taking place on what could be a shakedown Saturday in college football. Once you get to November, look out. These kids are between 18 and 21 as you look at our scoring drive. 6 plays, 70 yards, and those big 3rd down conversions. Shaw taking it in from 10 yards out to end it.
Good answer drive by South Carolina. I think the enthusiasm that Arkansas had for scoring to tie the game at 7 needed to be answered by South Carolina to get this crowd back into it. And by the looks of it right now, this crowd is back, rejuvenated, re-energized. That's what South Carolina needed.
You got to remember, just about 3 weeks ago, you could have made an argument that South Carolina was the hottest team in the college game. And then they went on that murderous schedule of theirs after beating Georgia here to Baton Rouge. Lost a nail-biter off really one of those unfortunate turnovers by Connor Shaw. Eric Reed picked him off, and then they followed that up with 3 quick turnovers and a blowout loss to Florida. That schedule finally caught up to them. And now Steve Spurrier is trying to remind his team, hey, you're 8th in the BCS. You can still play in a very big bowl game. A lot to play for. That one is squibbed all the way through the end zone for the touchback, and they'll come out to the 25-yard line. Tuesday on CBS. It's a crime so big, the law and the mob will join forces. A can't-miss episode of TV's #1 new show, Vegas. Tuesday, only CBS. I've always been a Quaid fan, but Michael Chiklis is outstanding in that show, too.
Very entertaining.
Yes, it is.
Very entertaining.
Ball at the 25-yard line for Tyler Wilson and company. Let's see if they can have a return to sender here on this series. Dennis Johnson is the lone setback. Pass is to the back shoulder and a beauty to Hamilton. That is textbook. Right in front of the defender, Victor Hampton.
I really don't know how this ball got in there by Victor Hampton. Kobe Hamilton just runs straight up the field. He and Tyler Wilson are on such good chemistry right there. I mean, that ball almost hits Victor Hampton, but Kobe Hamilton knew exactly where to expect that football. Tyler Wilson on the money. Big play.
Talk about getting it out quickly. He did that time. The pump fake and a beauty. And on the long crossing pattern, Julian Horton has it at the 20-yard line. And just like that, the Razorbacks are a half-yard outside the red zone.
2 plays. Let's see if he actually gets the hands underneath the football.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got it cradled in there. Saw a little bit of football at the bottom, but I think he had control of it. That right hand.
And now they're ruling it incomplete. Said the cone of the football got to the ground, and that's what you always look for.
The previous play is under further review.
As it should be.
That's interesting because at first it appeared as though they ruled it complete. Now it would appear that the ruling on the field is that it's incomplete.
Well,
so we're going back the other way.
Horton was wide open, and not a great throw from Tyler Wilson here. Let's see if he gets those hands underneath it. The right hand, I believe, always stays under the football.
Right there, it looks good.
It looks pretty good. It's just hard to tell where that cone of the football is now. Again, as always, Tim, it's got to be obvious.
Yeah, but here's the issue. One official signaled catch. The other said, I'm wondering what the ruling on the field is because it's got to be irrefutable evidence.
Right.
But you have to know what the call on the field is, and I saw 2 different calls.
There were 2 different calls, but I think the referee, Ken Williamson, announced that the play has been ruled incomplete.
Okay.
That's the official ruling as it stands. So unless there's obvious proof that it's indisputable that catch was made, they will not overturn that. And I don't know if there's enough evidence there to show that for a fact.
Yeah. It looked like a catch to me.
In my opinion, it was a catch. Yes, I do believe that right hand was under the football, and it was not being bobbled. He had complete control of it. Let's look and see if we can blow it up here right at the very bottom.
See, his hand is underneath it, cupped.
And, you can see the ball right there. Oh, excuse me.
Yep. Did the cone of the ball touch the ground? That's what they're looking at.
Yeah, it's got to be clear, though. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
I do think it was a catch.
One of the things, though, that I will say, all along I felt that the college rule was better, that the White Hat surrenders control in this instance to the booth and lets the replay official take over, because so oftentimes at the next level it's very difficult for the White Hat, who's emotionally tied to the call, to say that, oh, by the way, we're going to reverse it.
Exactly.
I've always loved the college approach. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not without fault. It's got its share of problems as well.
Well, they're taking a lot of time.
Which generally means reversal.
Well, it could be interpreted that way for sure.
The ruling on the field is incomplete, officially.
I'm going to look at it one more time.
Watch the right hand underneath it. There is a shadow that makes it difficult. It obscures to some extent the view that we have. That being said, it appeared that Horton did everything he could to cradle the football. If it is reversed, then the ball will be at the 20-yard line. If not, we'll go way back to the 44. So a very significant decision here. Ken Williamson will get us.
After further review, the pass was caught by the receiver. Therefore, it will be 1st and 10 for Arkansas on the 21-yard line.
Well, we are 1 for 1 today.
Well, and that's better than my normal percentage. But it looked to me that it was a catch for sure, and I'm glad the right call was made. It was very difficult to make the accurate call, but they spent the time. I think the result was correct.
So 1st down, just outside the 20. McKay goes up to the top of your screen.
Kobe Hamilton right there at the bottom, one-on-one.
And it's McKay up at the top. He's got it at the 15. Great cut. Now he goes outside and is down at the 3-yard line. Nifty move to get past Bryson Williams, number 12, the free safety. 18-yard pickup.
And as nifty as the move was, that's how poor the tackling was by Victor Hampton on the outside. We've seen a lot of open field misses by South Carolina defenders today on the outside. And right there, Victor Hampton had a chance to make that tackle for about an 8 to 10-yard gain as opposed to an 18-yard gain.
Wilson has 156 yards in the air in this quarter alone. Linton and Johnson, the running backs. And Dennis Johnson is stopped behind the line of scrimmage this time, closer to the 4, although I think they'll mark his forward progress ahead to about the 3, so no gain. 2nd and goal coming up. Holloman comes up to make the stop. Devontae Holloman been very active in this game.
Well, if there is a weakness on this Arkansas team, that they have not been as efficient in the red zone, scoring only 53% of the time coming away with a touchdown in the red zone.
I think that's because they don't have Cragg. That's because they've lost, obviously, so many of those other outstanding receivers they had a season ago.
No doubt. They're shorthanded.
Johnson, the lone setback. Play fake, and that pass is going to be airmailed incomplete. He was looking for Alex Volsky, the tight end, reserve tight end, freshman from Longview, Texas, and Wilson took a shot and comes up limping.
That is one tough dude. He did take a shot right there. He's hurting, trying to find a way to keep himself out there. He takes the bootleg, and you just see immediate penetration right there from Devin Taylor.
Yeah, it looked like his right knee gave out a little bit as he was trying to get that ball past Taylor. He's on a leg and a half here, limping up to the line of scrimmage.
A timeout would not be a bad call to make sure your quarterback. This is a big play in the ball game.
3rd and goal. I think they want a timeout. Yeah. The coaches were running onto the field to say, stop the clock. We need to talk about it. Good call, partner. John L. says, let's talk. 14-7 our score. Last time they were in this kind of position and it was 3rd and goal, it didn't go so well.
Yeah, and Dennis Johnson did not take care of the football. He's trying to stretch it for the extra yard to get the 1st down, and ball pops out. John L. Smith would do anything to have just 3 points on that last drive. Just didn't work out.
Well, they did convert after the punt from South Carolina and get a touchdown. What do you expect here?
Well, here, 3rd and 3, this is a very tough situation. I think if you're running the football, the only one run you can do is a draw play to try and sell pass, soften up that defense. But I think Kobe Hamilton's probably going to be a good bet right there at the top of your screen. That one-on-one coverage, maybe a fade to him.
Put it where only he can catch it, right?
He is your playmaker. He's your number 1 guy. And he steps up more than he doesn't.
There he is. Pass is incomplete. They went with a slant, and it was knocked away. Beautifully done by Akeem Auguste, number 3.
Great job breaking in there by Akeem Auguste, but I think the ball was a little bit late by Tyler Wilson. There's a little bit of contact, good physical play by Akeem Auguste, but Tyler Wilson, you see, he took 3 or 4, took that extra little shuffle on the outside, and I think that is what made that throw a little bit late. Kobe Hamilton had a chance a split second earlier.
Hocker, who has been outstanding from 20 yards away, boots it through. He is tops among active SEC place kickers. 76% his success rate. It's 14-10. Monday on CBS, breaking up is never easy, especially when your partner can't take a hint. Catch a new How I Met Your Mother Monday, only CBS. Our score here at Williams-Brice Stadium, 14-10 as you look at the scoring drive, 72 yards, a couple of minutes off the clock, a huge hookup to Horton to help set it up with a reversal on an incomplete call, and the Razorbacks were able to get 3 out of it. Tucker will now kick it away as you look at Wilson tending to, looks as if he's got a little blood on that right knee too.
Yeah, he's got it taped up, protected for some reason. Anyway, probably a pre-existing. I mean, these guys take a beating week in and week out, especially in the SEC. And
spoken by a man that's had how many surgeries?
Only about 20 or so.
And another one yet to come, right?
One more yet to come eventually, yeah. I don't like to talk about those issues. Brings back bad memories.
I know.
I can identify what he's going through. Let's put it that way.
Let's just say this part of the country was good to you. Just about an hour away, you made All-Pro with the Carolina Panthers. That kick is going to go through the end zone. And the Gamecocks will have it at the 25-yard line. Well, coming up, the Geico halftime report. Adam Zucker and Spencer Tillman will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights. And a number of potential upsets are in the making as we speak. And they'll have a preview of number 1, Alabama, hosting Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel, and the 15th-ranked Aggies of Texas A&M. That's all coming up on the Geico halftime report. Connor Shaw leads his Gamecocks out with 3:28 remaining in the half. Very entertaining game to this point. Both teams have had their moments.
Well, we felt that Arkansas was coming into this game ready to play. I really believe it's going to go down to the final minutes of the ball game.
Gilchrist and Miles are the setbacks. Shaw gets away from initial pressure and checks it down to Miles for a gain of a couple of yards, and that's about it. As you look at the day for Connor Shaw so far.
Well, mostly good for Connor Shaw. He's the big touchdown early in the game to Gerald Adams. Put him up 7-0. Then the big completion outside to Bruce Ellington, setting up this 14-yard touchdown run by the man himself, Connor Shaw.
Pick up a 4 on that last play, so it's 2nd and 6. Shaw goes with a screen, this time to Miles. Well set up. Kenny Miles gets it into Arkansas territory. Knocked out of bounds at the 47 by Eric Bennett, the junior from Tulsa, Oklahoma. 24-yard pickup.
Very well set up. The key block by Ronald Patrick, the guard, gets out there in front, knocks his man down. That pops Kenny Miles down the sideline. Very good play call at the right time and executed to perfection by South Carolina.
44 receiving yards for Miles. Again, very patient, waiting for that hole to open up. Solid back, taking it down to the 40-yard line. And he may not possess everything Marcus Lattimore has, but he's an accomplished back with a likely future ahead of him.
Well, and his experience has prepared him for this opportunity as well. Probably one of the motivators for coming back. Not that Marcus Lattimore getting hurt was something he wanted, but he wanted to contribute. He's getting his opportunity, and he's ready for the challenge.
Shaw, close from the pocket. Needs some help. Uses that speed and athleticism of him to catch the corner. Chris Smith was providing the pressure, but again, Shaw able to get about 4 yards out of it when a lot of guys would probably be sacked.
I know I would have been sacked,
yeah,
for sure.
This is what they're missing. Look at the numbers on Lattimore. But again, not only that, but the mental edge. He's such a leader for your football team, too.
Well, the reverence with which people speak about him is unlike anything I've heard anywhere. He means so much to South Carolina, this whole state, much less his program. And the way that he carries himself is something that they're all very proud of.
On 3rd and 6, Shaw decides to take a timeout. Yeah, I've never seen both teams show the kind of love and affection for a fallen player as Tennessee and South Carolina did. 14-10 our score with 1:43 remaining. Very important 3rd down coming up. South Carolina 4-4 on 3rd downs on its 2 scoring drives. So once they got it going and got in rhythm, they were fine. You're looking at Yates, who's kicked a 51-yarder. That's his longest. But they've only tried 10 times this year. This is not a team that settles for many field goals. Head ball coach usually likes to get 6.
Head ball coach has been known to be fairly aggressive.
Yes. Really had a great time talking with Steve yesterday. Always one of my favorites. Has 6 overall conference championships. If he wins one more, he separates himself from a number of other legends in this league. If he can win another conference title, I think that's the #1 goal here first, is to win an SEC. He's gotten them to the title game once. He would love to get one more championship before he calls it a career. 3rd and 6. That pass is a little low for Ace Sanders. And I'm sure Connor Shaw would love to have that one back.
Yeah, you know, he's athletic. He normally is pretty darn accurate on the run.
It came off quickly, but I think Steve might send him back out there.
It looks like they might do it. I think Steve Spurrier's, that's what his instinct is telling him to do.
At this stage, you don't want to give Tyler Wilson the ball back before the half.
You got a minute 39 left.
This is a very important part of this game here, because if they don't get the first down and you give Wilson a relatively short field, look out.
Well, you're going to give him the relatively short field if you don't get it, but that shows his confidence that he does have in Lorenzo Ward in that defense.
Shaw throwing for a wide open Ellington. Yeah, the head ball coach had a good idea. Touchdown. When you have that many freshmen in your secondary, why not take a shot on 4th down?
Yeah, and what a great call. Good job by Connor Shaw stepping up on that. Look how open Bruce Ellington was down the sideline. There was something that Steve Spurrier and his staff saw during the course of the week where they expected to get a very favorable opportunity to score on that play.
Well, what you did see at the end of that play was number 9, the freshman Will Hines, beaten. This is a patchwork secondary. We touched on it at the top of the game. Steve Spurrier decided it was worth the chance. Why not? Connor Shaw, very efficient, and the old point guard did the rest. Shaw to Ellington, a pivotal play and an 11-point lead. Six plays, 75 yards, a minute 58 on the clock, and again a busted coverage by this young Arkansas secondary, Steve.
Well, a lot of people are going to think it might be the corner that messed up, but I think right here you're going to see the safety, Rohan Gaines. Watch as the route gets going. He's responsible for the whole bottom half of the field. He turns his shoulders inside right there. He's stuck. He's given up this whole area outside. He cannot break on a football to the outside. His responsibility is to slow play between the two receivers so he can make a break on both balls. Once he commits one way or the other, it's over. And he committed inside. Connor Shaw made it pay on the outside. Nothing fancy in the design of that route. Just a good heads-up play by Connor Shaw.
Spurrier already had in his mind he was going. The thing I remember most about that series is Shaw, after really a poor pass on the rollout, he's ready to come to the sideline and call it a day. Steve's like, wait a minute, get back out there. I got a ball play here for you.
And there's nothing that increases a quarterback's confidence than a coach that says, you know what, forget about it, get back out there, we're going to make a play right now. 4th and 6, I know you can do it.
Both the quarterbacks on pace for 350-yard plus performances. Nate Holmes is back deep. Adam Yates to kick it away. will take it. And is ahead to the 18-yard line. Don't forget, tomorrow, regional coverage, the NFL on CBS. Most of you will see Denver, Carolina, Oakland, Baltimore, Tennessee, Miami. And then at 4:05 Eastern Time, many will see the Jets and Seattle. And it all begins with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest.com. JB in the game. Well, still plenty of time for Tyler Wilson to work some of his own magic with the ball at the 17-yard line. 3 wide receiver set. That ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage. One of those big mitts got up there. It looked to be maybe Sutton 90. They are something. Think about it. Devin Taylor is all of 6'8", 265. Jadeveon Clowney, a very athletic 6'6". Kelsey Quarles and Sutton and those guys are also above 6'4", 6'5". A lot of height in that forward wall. Well, that's a beautiful call. Dennis Johnson on the draw. Silk, choppy steps I was talking about. Out to the nearly the 40-yard line. And the first down.
Oh, the balance right there. I mean, I think everybody in the stadium felt like the tackle was already made by DJ Swearinger, but it just ended up propelling him to another 10 yards.
22-yard gain. Clock moving, though. And stopping after the first down. Arkansas does have a timeout left. And we'll go to the tight end Tate on the crossing pattern, and he's ahead into South Carolina territory at the 45. Auguste with the stop, a 15-yard gain.
Well, that's pretty quick trip into South Carolina territory. 2 plays again, and Arkansas is almost getting themselves into scoring range here.
Now you know why Spurrier went on 4th down. Wilson flushed from the pocket, decides to dump it incomplete. Demetrius Wilson, number 81, the junior, the intended receiver. We have to give it to Tyler Wilson. He's out there on a leg and a half. No one's been hit more than he has. Even Tulsa got to him a number of times last week. And you see the numbers, as we mentioned, both on pace for 350-yard plus performances.
You know what Tyler Wilson does, though? He avoids the sack. When he's under pressure, he finds a way to get that ball out of there, throws it away if he has to.
2nd and 10. Underneath, that pass thrown behind Johnson. It's one of those that you talked about earlier. Occasionally, just not where you want the ball thrown.
Yeah, that would be my only knock. Sometimes on those short balls with the moving wide receiver or running back out of the backfield, he has a tendency to kind of aim it a little bit, I think, instead of just trusting himself and putting it right on that guy.
Crowd getting into it on 3rd down and 10. Haven't heard from Kobe Hamilton lately, have we? Wilson under duress and sacked back at the 50. That's a loss of 5 and 4th down coming up. Aldrich Fordham got there, number 57.
Well, I was watching Jadeveon Clowney at the right-hand side of your screen right there. He gets hit by about 4 guys on this play trying to get in to Tyler Wilson, but the pressure was coming from other way. Watch right at the right-hand side. Just watch 1, 2 people hit Jadeveon Clowney, then he gets cleaned up there at the end. Those Arkansas players have been coached up all week. If you get a shot at number 7, take it, because he will take our quarterback's head off if you don't.
Wilson remains on the field on 4th down. And you see the clock winding down. They may just take a 5-yard penalty here. Or wait for the half to come to an end.
That's the other alternative,
That's the other half.
Did Arkansas take a timeout? I think they may have before the clock ran out completely. I think they may have done that so they could throw a Hail Mary.
I don't know why they wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what they did. They wanted to wait and just heave one to the end zone with Wilson's big arm. Why not take a shot?
Right. And you're probably right about the extent of the range for most quarterbacks at this point. It'll be about a 55 to 60-yard throw to get it to the end zone.
You're right on that last play. Clowney provided the flush, and then Chaz Sutton hit him And then Fordham polished up on Wilson.
You know what it does? Having the talent and the well-earned reputation that Davian Clowney does have, those offensive players are so aware of him and so coached up to be looking for a shot at him that it opens up opportunities for everybody else.
Well, let's see if South Carolina's secondary knows how to handle keeping people in front of them. And then if it becomes a tip ball situation, knocks it down. Again, more pressure and yet another sack. Sutton gets through again, big number 90, the junior from Savannah. And that will do it for the first half. The big play of the first half coming on the 4th down call by the head ball coach, finding a wide open Bruce Ellington for a touchdown to extend the lead from 4 to 11. And let's go down to Marty Snyder. Who's got Steve Spurrier?
Well, Steve, 4th and 6 from the 50. Is that exactly how you drew it up? And how much confidence that give the guys?
Oh, I don't know. We've only had 5 possessions. Fortunately, we scored 3 of them. Made a bunch of third downs. Arkansas is playing well, and we've hung on defensively to hold them to 10. But we got to play a lot better in a lot of areas if we're going to end up winning this thing.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay.
Tim?
Still some concern from Spurrier, and understandably so. Our score 21-10. Now let's take you to Adam Zucker in our studio in New York. Adam?